everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a surprise. As you probably saw in the intro, a new car added to the stable. So this is Felicia's. It's going to be her kind of new weekend car build, and I'll introduce it a little bit, but I'm not going to give too much away right now. It's a 2011, so it's got the N55 turbo motor in it. It is DCT. She wanted the auto, but I wanted DCT to be in it just because I think over time she'll want that. I don't think right now she knows she wants it, but I think, like, I've never driven a DCT before, and when I drove it I was like, ooh, this is fun. So that's just part of it, and right now we're kind of just going through the car, doing maintenance on it. When I went and picked it up, unfortunately, I don't know if this has ever happened to any of you guys, through the dealer I had to put a deposit down on it because of the everything going on right now. I had to have an appointment to see the car, so I had to put a deposit down so to ensure that it would be there because it was out of state. I had to drive quite a distance, get there, get in the car to test drive it, and sure enough, it's got more mileage. It was like 7,000 more miles. So luckily they made it right, but I was kind of disappointed at first. I was like, man, the car's got 90,000 miles. It said it had 84. It's still higher mileage, but I feel like the car, it had a good history, so it's been well taken care of. It does have some rock chips and stuff. It had PPF on it, but right over the PPF, this happens. There's a couple rock chips. The PPF's kind of damaged right there, but I'm probably gonna take the PPF off and paint correct the car. I'm not gonna say too much what we're gonna do with that, but I steamed the whole car underneath, and I put new rotors on because we did order new wheels, so I did pads and rotors all the way around. The front should be here in the next day or two. I sandblasted or vapor blasted these because they're aluminum. They came out pretty good. They still got a little bit of pitting in them, but they look far better than they did before, and I didn't really want to paint them. I wanted to keep them the aluminum color. The underneath cleaned up very well. The car actually was from Ontario, so it spent most of its life over there till it came to the Chicagoland area. So it's pretty clean, not too bad. It's my second favorite color, silver, but it probably won't stay that for long. Here's some other stuff we got for it. I went with the Ray Bestos rotors, and then power stop pads, the ceramics, so to keep the wheels cleaner. And then we've got the DCT service in here from ECS. So we've got fluid, Transpan because they're known to warp because they're plastic, the filter for the pump, the inlet filter for it, and then their magnetic drain plugs and the O-rings and stuff. I'm gonna do that soon. The only thing holding me back right now is the software to reset everything and do the fluid, the final fill. You have to do everything off temperature wise, so I need to get the software for that. So I need to do a little bit more research on what the best route will be to go with that, but I will kind of fill you guys in on that more as we go. All right, that's it for that. The wheels and stuff will be here in the next week, so I'll do some more updates on that and kind of go from there. Car though, we're really happy with it. Drives really good. The only bad thing was the tires were pretty cupped. They're pretty wore out, so we already took those off. Everything, ordered wheels and tires right away for it. We were gonna wait a little bit, but when I saw that, I was like, just an excuse to get them right away. So back to the Civic. We have some updates with this, and I'm super happy with it. So I'll take you back now. I got most of the rear suspension on. It turned out really good. I'll go over some of the things with the bolts too, because I did pick the bolts up. I went to JDM Ohio last week and then visit my buddy Steve to pick up the bolts. There's a couple things with the bolts that we'll kind of go over, but here's the rear suspension. So I got everything on. There's the carbon bar. I do have to put the sway bar on. I was just missing some stuff. You can see there's a wheel on there. Looks pretty good. this side. It's not too dark. So we've got the Checkered Sports Edition hard race arms for the toe and the camber arms. We've got the Apexi or Apexi coilovers. This is all fresh. I ended up painting the arms. I don't know if you can tell, they're pretty clean. Those are hard race bushings. So all this was all cleaned up and all redone. The aluminum rotors, or the aluminum drum covers. Let's see if I can get under here. That's the new fuel injected gas tank that I got to restore. But see under here, some more of the bolts refinished. I did put the lines back on with the brackets for the fuel and the brake lines underneath the car. You can see more underneath. Carbon bar. So I just got to throw the sway bar on there. I was just waiting because I need the bracket, the offset bracket for here to put it on, and I forgot to order that. So that's an update on that. The front, I'm waiting on one ball joint. Oh, you can see this. I think that looks cool. So I put that back on with all the refinished hardware, and then did paint and finish the other one. So I'm just waiting on one more ball joint. I didn't have another one downstairs. The hard race compliance bushings, I coated those. Here's some of the bolts in the bay, just to kind of get an idea of what it's gonna look like. It's kind of a bit flashy. It's not gonna be for everybody. From what people have told me, when they've had the bolts redone and stuff, they'll eventually start to kind of fade over time. So I'm hoping that it does that and it's more of a kind of cleaner look, but I'm happy with it. Overall, I'll show you some of the bolts right now. It's kind of overwhelming at first. I'll show you though. These are all the bolts for the car. Yeah. So this is what I wanted to show you. These are the washers. Started going through them. All right. So I didn't know this until after. So these are successfully coated, zinc coated, and this piece had paint on it. Well, I guess when they tumble it, it doesn't get paint off. So it got coated with half paint on it. Well, that kind of happened with some of the bolts too, which is kind of disappointed it. Let's see if we can find the bolt that it happened with. Yep, right there. So if you look, let me see if I can get this to focus. You see that little black spot right there? That's either paint or grime or something. So if you look at the bolt, you'll see a little bit of it, which I was gonna redo the ones that it did it, but at this point I wanna get the car back together. I might go through later and do it. I thought about stripping another car and taking the bolts, going to the junkyard, getting some bolts that I know I need and getting them redone later and then swap them out later. I don't really know yet. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm not building the car to be, I mean, I want it to be super, super nice, but I'm not building it to be perfect. The bolts are gonna get grimy, they're gonna get worn. So we'll see. Probably, like I said, I'll end up getting another set of the bolts I need and getting them coated, whether I buy them from Honda, brand new, and then send them or what. I think the coating's a good enough deal that it's not a big deal if I have to do it. So one last thing before I'll show you some more of, this turned out a little greener than the rest of the parts, but I still think it looks good. It's gonna look good against the block. And then these were a little corroded, and like I said, he didn't tumble them too well, so they weren't coated as good as I wanted. But you don't see these. I kind of wanted to coat them just to coat them instead of clean them. So this, I got the stuff for the parts, or for the motor. So I got a flex hone, which is pretty cool. I'm kind of getting into more of that when I use it. Got NPR rings, ACL race bearings, thrust washers in there, ARP studs, head studs, and then I got this cool Weisco piston ring compressor. I thought this was the one, I guess ARP or somebody else makes one too, and it's got like a ring on it to hold it flat on top of the block, like to hold it in place. This one doesn't have that. It's just tapered. So if you guys are looking for that, just know that this one doesn't do that, which I was kind of disappointed when I got it today, but at the same time, we'll make it work. Not that big of a deal for how much I'm going to use it. Also these I hadn't used these yet. I just got them probably right before winter, and I started using them on the BMW, just cleaning up some areas. Scan grip lights are really, really cool. If you're looking for a cool detail light, like, these are the ticket. All right, so this light, the cool thing about it is it's like, it matches like sunlight. So when you turn it on, it's on right now. You can see it's kind of, if you look at me, it's kind of like a yellow tint. And then you can change it. See, it's turning more blue. And then it'll go all the way to yellow. I think this one has 5 different Kelvin readings that change it. So if you're working, and then it does high and low. But if you're doing silver cars, you need, I've noticed the blue light really kind of is a lot with the metallic, so I use something really in the middle. With a white car, I have to use something that's really, really low on the Kelvin level, because it has to be like super yellow to see in a gloss white paint job. But like black cars and stuff, I imagine the higher Kelvin ratings are really good. So this is just one. It's kind of like a palm light. You can mount it on a base. It's got a magnet on it too, which is cool. And then I have this one, which is more of a handheld, does the same thing. It either works like that as a flashlight or works like this. And you hold it. It's easy to keep it in your pocket. It's got a high and a low, and then it changes between all the different Kelvins again, 25, 35, 45, 55, and 65. And then the last thing I have is the simple headlight. Does the same thing, but it's only got 2 different colors, more of the yellow and then the higher daylight instead of the warm. It's rechargeable. I've used this a few times actually. I've had this a little bit longer. I really like it. But I kind of wanted to show you guys those real quick because they were on the table. And I've been using them. This thing has a magnet, but then it also has a hook, which is really cool. And then I also have from them, I'll show you real quick. Where is it? Oh, it's over here. I also have scan grips. If I can get it out. All right. Well, I turned it on as I got it out. Sorry, guys. I also have their hood light. So here it is. Ground. So this is their hood light, or under hood light. It's really, really nice. It's really light. It's got a like a polycarbonate cover, so they say you can run them over and they're still fine. I think Matt Mormon actually said he ran his over and it didn't break, which is kind of cool. So I just wanted to show you guys that little stuff since it was there and add a little bit to the video. So hopefully in the next week, all the stuff will come in for the BMW, give you some updates on that. I should have the front suspension on the Civic. Probably do a video of me putting that on just to kind of show you guys the process. I'm sorry I didn't make a video putting the rear stuff on. It kind of took me a minute with the bolts to figure out where I was at. I mean, there's 1,000 bolts there and it's just every nut and bolt. So I kind of had to go through, organize, and then define the stuff. So maybe I'll, before the next video, I'll just kind of find everything that I need first and then do an install video to show you guys that. So thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe if you aren't already, and thanks for all your support, everyone. I really appreciate it. And please shoot me some comments or even message me and let me know what you think and maybe ways that I can improve the channel. I really want to make this entertaining for everyone, and if you like the cars, I mean, you might not like the way I perform things or do things. All right, everyone. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.